Hello and welcome to Prenton Park. Ben Jacobs with you. A happy Easter to all of our Rooks fans watching from home. Lewes away at Liverpool in the FA Women's Championship. Ben Jacobs with you. Stuart Fuller will hopefully be joining me as well in just a moment. He's the director and owner, of course, at Lewes. He has been here donkey's years. I'll run through the team news for you in just a moment. This is a world first, if you like. The very first time that we've done an away broadcast, and what an occasion and day to do it on. Basking sunshine here in Birkenhead in Liverpool, and it is the hosts who are above Lewes in the FA Championship. Third place, Lewes in fifth. The victory should just about consolidate a top half finish. Do get in contact with me. We'd love for you to donate as well. You can see a giant button on the feed, and if you do donate more than £10, you stand the chance of winning one of these wonderful white Lyle and Scott shirts. You can either have it to wear or you can get it signed. It is completely up to you. Liverpool about to get us underway. The players will kneel as well in solidarity, but including in football, like I said, Liverpool have made two changes against Blackburn Rovers. As down go the players. Lewes all about equality, of course. Liverpool make two changes from that 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers. Into the side comes Ashley Hodson and Kirsty Lynette up front. We expect the hosts to play a 4-4-2. Riley Foster in goal, the young Canadian Rhian Roberts, Michaela Moore, Neen Fahey and Taylor Hines, Becky Jane, Jade Bailey, Ashley Hodson and Kerry Holland, the Welsh midfielder, Rachel Furness, the danger woman, and Kirsty Lynette should lead the line. Lewes have made a formational change. We expect them to play five across the back. I'll come back to that in just a moment, but there's an opportunity for Liverpool to break here. Kerry Holland lays it out to the left-hand side. Ashley Hodgson, dangerous ball to the edge of the area. Enough white shirts there in the way of Sophia Roach. Should just about be able to clear her lines, although she's under pressure from Becky Jane. So Lewes, who have moved to a 4-3-3, now playing five across the back. Tatiana Saunders in goal. Sophia Rourke, Victoria Cousins, Rhiannon Cleverly, Ellen Hackett, Charlie Boswell, Molly Rouse, Megan Mackey, who was in the goals last time out. Kind of all the midfield is Liverpool again. Dangerous on the edge of the area. First shot of the day, and it was well stopped by Tatiana Saunders. Mackey will hold, as I say, in midfield, leaving Timms, Unaton, Ashworth, Cliff ahead of them. So effectively, Lewes playing a 5-2-3, which is a bit of an unorthodox formation. And surely it's not been given though by the official, who is Declan Brown. Kirsty Lynette as a result. Lovely ball in, shots well blocked, and it needed to be as well. That was a firm effort coming in from Kerry Holland, who joined Liverpool in January. Extra defender on that occasion, very much playing her part, as it's all Liverpool in the early stages. Don't forget, if you want to shout out, you can tweet me by @JacobsBen. I'd love to hear from you. Especially because, as I say, making history here, our first ever away broadcast, the only place that you can watch the game, although highlights will be available later on FA Player. So happy Easter to all of you. Go on, make me jealous. Tell me your Easter Sunday lunch. I suppose a lot of you won't have eaten, given that this is the early kickoff. So what are you preparing? Are you in the kitchen? Are you watching the street with a pet or a young child? And also, I'd like to get a sense of the geography as well. Where in the world are you watching? Goal on my right, which are all Tranmere ones, and there's the cardboard cut-up of fans as well. This stadium does actually hold almost 20,000. Lynette, who's had a number of early touches, Furness in a little bit too much space, cleverly blocks it. Holland is lively, that's an incisive ball to the near post, danger in the area. Lynette twists, turns, and that's an excellent save by Tatiana Saunders for a corner. May have even clipped off a defender on the way through. And it's a corner, half-hearted appeal by Liverpool for handball. Stuart Fuller is alongside me. I'll bring him in probably probably just before half-time, because he's playing two roles, one as my co-commentator and the other as a cameraman. And thanks as well to Hannah, who's worked really hard to set this stream up. We've needed a variety of different leads and masking tape, but we're enjoying it in the sunshine, and we had a nice walk last night around the dock. Liverpool has a light show as well for Easter. It's drilled into the near post dangerously, almost found its way all the way to the back post. Sophie O'Rourke happy to hoof it out there, and I tell you what, if those were real fans, that would have hit someone full on in the face. Instead, it might well have just taken a cardboard head off on that occasion. So apologies to whoever has been mauled, but thankfully, like I say, cardboard cutouts don't need any medical attention or trips to the hospital, so we can hit the ball as hard as we like over on that far side. I'd love to hear as well from any Liverpool fans who are watching our stream. The only place, like I say, where you can hear the game brought to you by Lewes FC. We encourage you to donate and interact, and tweet me at Jacobs Ben if you would like a shout out. It would be greatly appreciated to interact with you on Easter in sunshine but windy conditions. Pitch looks excellent here as Liverpool look to consolidate third place, and Lewes can get a little bit closer to them. Top 5 finish for the Rooks. Very, very much on the cards. And both of these teams in excellent form. Liverpool haven't lost since January. Lewes were unbeaten throughout the month of March. And for the teams who, again, in case you missed them in a moment, as Rhiannon Roberts finds Furness. Down the right-hand side is Becky Jane. The official, who was closer to the ball, actually gave that as a goal kick, but then that's been overruled by Declan Brown. So it's a corner to Liverpool. Hard to believe that the man in the middle had a better view than his assistant on that far side, but Liverpool were protesting vociferously, and it will be another corner. Decent delivery, and it's found its way into the back of the net, and I think that might even be an own goal. Liverpool get their just rewards after a variety of pressure. And Maton continues to protest because Lewes feel that that was never a corner in the first place. But it is Liverpool who have the lead, and it's deservedly so based on these early stages of the game. Because it has been all the hosts, and now Lewes having set up with a deep-lying 5-2-3 formation that can, of course, go into a 5-4-1 as well. May need to be a little bit more expansive. It is 1-0 to Liverpool. First real venture for Lewes down that left-hand side, and maybe they can get some territorial possession now. Don't forget that you can get in contact with me via @JacobsBen if you would like a shout-out. I'd love to hear from you. Send me your Easter messages. Own goal is the difference between the sides. Last touch may well have come off Nicola Cousins, but we'll try and confirm that for you in due course. It was definitely an own goal, and you can tell instantly because there's simply no celebration from the Liverpool players. But the home side have looked very sharp so far, and Lewes have struggled to get the ball early on. Of course, an own goal did benefit Lewes last time out when they beat London Bees by 2-1. Megan Mackey making a nuisance of herself in the area at the gripping pan. And it was an own goal by Sophie McLean for the opening goal for Lewes in an eventual 2-1 victory, with Mackey also getting on the score sheet. First opportunity for Rice to break down the right-hand side, and that's out for a corner. Thanks to Timms. Presumably your first name might be Tim, therefore, on Twitter. So there's great commentary from the get-go, as always. Thanks to Lewes for getting a live stream out. Shout out to Lynn Burrell, watching from the South Coast. Poppy Sinclair has been in contact as well. She's got the stream up on her laptop. Try and send me an Easter egg as well. It made me really jealous with a giant chocolate Easter egg. If anyone's eating one of them, please. This is a deep and decent corner into the back post, and that was a leaping header there from Ellie Hack. Looks like it's just brushed off the Liverpool shirt, and it'll be another corner to Lewes, this time on the far side. As I say, Ben Jacobs here in the gantry at Prenton Park, but Stuart Fuller is with me as well. I'll bring him in for a little bit of colour and insight once he's had a breather from moving the camera around, just so you're not bored by neither Worcester the entire game. An own goal is the difference between the sides. Into the near post, Ramsford slightly underhit, and Lewes need to be alert on the counter-attack here as Kirsty Lynette lays it out to that right-hand side, asking a little bit much of herself on that occasion is Kerry Holmes, the 23-year-old Welsh midfielder who joined from Kansas University in January. It's on a roof at Manchester City as well. Don't forget, big day in the FA Women's Championship as well. This is the early kick-off at 2 o'clock. Leicester City can not only secure their place in the FA WSL, but do so as champions as well if they beat London City Lionesses. That kicks off at 2 o'clock. Crystal Palace against Sheffield United, Blackburn against Coventry, and Charlton against London Bees completes the lineup. All of those games kick off at 2 o'clock, so you've got no excuse but to watch this one to begin with, as Timms having to defend. Saunders happy just to put her boot through it, and in the end it's a decent ball out to Rouse on the right hand side, and Lewes are just starting to find a little bit of possession and control now, which is welcome because Liverpool started this one at a blistering pace. In Unicorn on the ball at the moment, with two around her, meet backfield in field to Timms, who goes down under a challenge from the youngster Taylor Hines, one of the most promising players in this Liverpool squad. Free kick to the Rooks just inside the Liverpool half. Stuart Fuller has brought snacks. Unbelievably. They're not Easter eggs, but they've got an Easter feel. And let's bring Stuart in now, actually, even though he's manning the camera. A very good afternoon, doing two jobs at once. One, trying to bring us the footage for our first ever away broadcast, and the other, just occasionally talking to me. Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, Ben. Happy Easter, everybody. It's a beautiful sunny day here. I think slow start from Lewes, but they're now starting to get back in this.
Ralph just underhits that one, but it still finds Timms. So I have to ask you, paint the picture of the snacks that you've just given me, which I'll try and eat when we get a break in play as Lewes win a corner.
They are Maltesers bunnies. Bunny-shaped Maltesers, absolutely beautiful. Shouldn't eat them though whilst you're talking on, because you'll get a bit of a punch.
So we're going to be eating bunnies on Easter, which I actually think is the opposite of what Easter is about, albeit culturally speaking anyway. But Lewes need an element of resurrection because they have fallen 1-0 down early on. An own goal. We think the last touch was from Ellie Hack. It was definitely an own goal. A couple of corners now for Lewes to try and restore parity, and Hack almost at the other end. Glancing header which again brushes off the Liverpool defender. So it's a corner from the near side this time for Lewes. And over to take it trots Lucy Ashworth Clifford, one of the recent new signings, only 21. Former Lamar University player in Texas. Not too much space to actually take the outside corner because the advertising ball is going to move with the pace up towards the back post. Nicola Cousins with the intended target, Jane Bailey should get it away. Once again, if you missed the team news, Liverpool having two changes from the 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers. Missy Bokend and Melissa Lawley make way for Kirsty Lynette and Ashley Hodgson. Riley Foster in goal, Rhiannon Roberts, Michaela Moore, Amelie Fahey and Taylor Hines, Kerry Holland, Ashley Hodgson, Jade Bailey and Becky Jane, Rachel Furness, who has 5 goals this season in the FA Women's Championship, and Kirsty Lynette. And for Lewes, it's slightly more defensive formation from the 4-3-3, which saw a 2-1 victory over London Bees. Still only 2 changes to the side though. Georgia Timms coming in for Emma Jones. Timms hasn't too much so far in terms of any sniffs at goal, largely being forced backwards. The other change is Nicola Cousins coming into a 5-woman defence, and out of the side goes Danny Lane. So Saunders, Boswell, Cleverly, Cousins, Hack and O'Rourke. A effectively the back five. Mackie and Rouse, the midfielders. Timms, who will drop into midfield but can push forwards in a more expansive counter-attacking formation. And Lucy Ashworth-Clifford, similar role for her. And the holding woman through the middle of the ball at the moment in Utah. Has 4 goals in the last 4 games. The last time these two sides met, they played out a really entertaining 2-2 draw. Great spectacle for the FA Women's Championship. Lewes twice behind but fight at the back. The other January signings weren't part of that game, so Liverpool have to think a little bit differently for this particular Lewes side, and they may not come to terms with effectively a 5-2-3 formation when Lewes are going forward. So it'll be useful for Lewes to be versatile and make this pitch as wide as they possibly can, and try and cause Liverpool not just problems on the ball but a few tactical headaches as well. Having been penned back early on in the game, Lewes have definitely responded well after falling behind to an own goal. Ben Jacobs and occasionally my cameraman and director of moment here at Lewes FC, Stuart Fuller, if he's not too busy eating those Malteser bunnies. Save mine for half time. Get in contact with me as well, please, via Twitter at JacobsBen. Shout out, pictures of Easter eggs, pets are always welcome. Love to hear from some Liverpool supporters as well, and anybody that can donate and does so, £10 or more, will enter a random draw to win an away Lyle and Scott Lewis shirt, which you can either wear or ask to be signed by a player of your choosing. Hello and happy Easter to Alex Sinclair, who said hi, you were giving shout outs. Indeed I am, and that's what I will do now. Appreciate that the stream quality isn't brilliant, but the fact the game is on is awesome. If you can give out a shout to Anthony Pennington, a friend of mine watching as well on the stream, that would be great. And again, we do apologise if you get any issues with the stream. From away broadcast, our protocol is a little bit different, so we're filming this one on an iPad, and it's our first time giving you away coverage, so we do hope that you are enjoying it, even if some of you are encountering issues with the pictures at times. Thanks to Poppy Sinclair, who sent me the biggest Easter egg I think I've seen. It's like 3 times the size of her MacBook. And like I say, if you're on the stream, get in contact. And once again, I would love to hear from some Liverpool supporters as well. Liverpool 1, Lewes 0. An own goal early on after a corner on the right-hand side. I think the last touch was off the head of Ellie Hack. There were 3 or 4 Lewes defenders in there though, and unfortunately it found its way into the far right-hand corner. Nothing that Tatiana Saunders could have done. 15 minutes played at Prenton Park. Just quickly bringing Stuart Fuller as well, because we've got a break and play. I think since falling behind, Lewes have responded well. Yeah, they've looked good. They've kept their shape. The 3 up front have always caused problems this season, and I think that if we can keep to that and keep stretching them wide, then we're going to get some success, as we can see here with Charlie on the ball. Boswell to deliver. It's blocked on this occasion by Hines. Will take the throw in. Charlie Boswell is forced going back into the starting line. Last few games for Lewes after some very composed performances. Former Brighton, Portsmouth player. Football welcomes refugees, and this is our club supporting the UNHCR in an April-long campaign to be inclusive, welcoming towards refugees. And Lewes was sporting some black t-shirts with the lettering "Football welcomes refugees." Inumaton offside, he does score, so it goes down as a disallowed goal, but the flag is up nice and early on the near right-hand side. Unfortunate, but Inumaton took it well. Riley Foster kind of stopped anyway because she'd seen the flag. Call that though a disallowed goal anyway. No VAR, of course, in the FA Women's Championship, but I don't think it was necessary on that occasion. But Lewes are now using the channels a bit more effectively as we approach the 20-minute mark. For those of you who don't know, Prenton Park is in the lovely part of Merseyside. That's given away by Fahy Umerton. Really well hit effort with plenty of venom, and Foster is sprawling over to our left-hand side, but it's about a yard wide. Heavy first touch from the goal kick by Neem Fahy, the 33-year-old veteran Irish footballer. And Umerton almost made him pay. Much better from Lewes, who were pegged back early on. They're starting to grow in confidence as this game goes on. Rianne Cleverly is shouting forward to the rest of her team, much better, much better. Cleverly, incidentally, still sporting the Rainbow Laces captain's armband, another campaign Lewes, like virtually every football club, supported a few months back. Rouse to Cousins. Diagonal ball is cut out by Rhiannon Roberts, the Welsh fullback, who played it up to Becky Jane, but she couldn't find any space, and now it's in central midfield with Jade Bailey. Furness. I actually saw Rachel Furness yesterday around the dock area of Liverpool on the other side of the river, walking her dog, and I brought my dog Winnie up as well. Unfortunately, she's not made a cameo to Prenton Park because of protocol, so she's with a sitter at the moment, but Rachel Furness has got a lovely dog, and we chatted for a while about the future of Liverpool. They were obviously hoping to bounce straight back up to the FAWSL. It's not possible now mathematically. Vicky Jepson may leave in Liverpool, and at the moment Amber Whiteley is the interim manager. Once again, if you like a shout out, please tweet me at Jacob's Ben. I'd love to see some Easter eggs, Easter jokes, family moments. Are you cooking Easter dinner at the moment? I would say make me jealous, because usually I'm on a freezing cold gantry at the top of the dripping pan opposite the main stand, but it's basking sunshine here, so I think in some respects you're going to be jealous of me being able to watch the Rooks in person. Of course, we do hope to have the fans back at the dripping pan very, very soon. And as ever, we hope that you're all well, healthy and safe. Many of you will be seeing your families for the first time due to changes in the social distancing rules in the United Kingdom. So if that's the case for you and you've had a reunion with your parents or your children, please send us a photograph. We'd love to engage with you. You can tweet me via @JacobsBen. Umerton putting quite a bit of pressure there on Ryan Foster, but she's able to spread it out to the right-hand side. Pressure in midfield, and the free kick will go the Rooks' way. It's down on the ground goes Molly Rouse, who's been excellent so far. She has lots of hunger and tenacity in midfield, and has won plenty of 50-50 balls, and this could be a useful free kick for Lewes to take more of an attacking shape. Tim's on the right of the area, Umerton central. O'Rourke has come forwards as well. Cousins to drill it. Brought down on the left-hand side, and then it's poked through to O'Rourke, who's just about onside. So Lewes throwing, despite Liverpool trying to convince the officials it's their ball. Rhiannon Roberts almost took the throw in as well, but it's up towards Umerton, who can't quite control it, and Roberts clears the lines. An own goal early on after about 5 minutes. The difference between the two sides, a corner from the right-hand side. We think the last touch maybe came off Ellie Hack and into the far right-hand corner. Bit of contention because the official on the near side originally gave what resulted in the goal as a corner. He originally put the flag up as if it was a goal kick, and he was a lot closer than the official, Declan Brown. But Liverpool questioned the decision, and the referee overturned his assistant, and the resulting corner led to the own goal. way through the first half here at Prenton Park, the home of Liverpool women and also Tranmere Rovers. Plenty of character just across the river from the Albert Dock. Just a bit too strong on that occasion. The diagonal ball towards Kerry Holland. Reminder once again, this is the first of 5 games in the FA Women's Championship. All the others kick off at 2 o'clock. You can watch them live on FA Player. Blackburn, Coventry, Palace, Sheffield United and Charlton, London Bees. Implications at the bottom end of the table in some of those games, but the big one is Leicester against London City. And if Leicester win, they go up to the FAWSL as champions. Tim's putting pressure here on Foster. Picked up though by Furness. Sliding challenge there. Cousins, and it's free kick to Liverpool, even though I'm pretty sure she won the ball. Ben Jacobs with you from Prenton Park. Stuart Fuller alongside me. He's manning the camera in our first ever broadcast and eating Malteser bunnies as well, but occasionally coming in with insight. What have you thought of the last 10 minutes or so? The game's hit a bit of a lull, which I don't think harms Lewis's chances.
No, I think it's. I think the lull has been caused by Lewes. Actually, I think that we've looked really strong going forward. We're keeping a very flat or a tight 4 in midfield with Vinny up front on our own, and I think that we're closing every ball down. We see Molly Rouse there every single time. She's at their feet, at their feet. She's just won a free kick there. I think our midfield is working really hard, and I think that's causing Liverpool a few problems. I think they don't quite know how to respond at the moment.
Yeah, I think Rouse has been Lewis's best players so far. A reminder, this is our first ever away stream. Happy Easter to all of you. If you'd like a shout out at JacobsBen via Twitter, send me some photographs of your Easter egg as well. And if you're at a family reunion, I'd love to hear from you as well. Do donate too. We got plenty of donations the last time these two teams came up against each other, including from Liverpool supporters. I'd love to hear from some Liverpool supporters too. Lewes FC bring you this game. The only place we go all the way up from Sussex to have your company on an Easter Sunday. If you can donate, you'll see the bottom line of the stream, and if you do donate more than £10, you enter a draw to win a Lewes away shirt sponsored by Lion and Scott, and you can either have that to wear or you can have it signed, or of course you can wear it signed, but then you shouldn't ever wash it. So Rourke has to track back here because the net is inside the area, hits it firmly. Saunders makes a decent save. The rebound almost forced in by Ashley Hodgson. Good defending though. Hack was back and makes a vital block. It's according to Liverpool on the near left-hand side. To take it trots Kerry Holland. Liverpool though showing what they can do on the counter-attack. Lewes need to be alert to the danger and the pace and the width that a lot of these interchangeable Liverpool midfielders and forwards have. Decent delivery to the back post. Cousins half clears. Grasping effort coming in there from Rianne Roberts. Again, able to get the block in with plenty of numbers back, and that's exactly right. Simon Parker, the Lewes manager, chose to play a back 5 and do this in the country back of their own. Megan Mackey, who we haven't seen too much of, twisting, turning and cutting inside. Scored a cross shot against London Bees last time out. I thought originally she'd actually got brace in that game, but the first header was an own goal. Dubious Goals Committee awarding that one to Sophie McLean from London Bees. Mackey was over rim, half claiming it, but then she scored a wonderful cross shot, whether intentional or not, that spun in the wind and found its way into the top left-hand corner. For a big victory for Lewes against a side that they've never previously beaten. Almost blocking that clearance from Tatiana Saunders. But the Rooks will be happy after falling behind early. They've steadied the ship. Almost half an hour gone at Prenton Park. Once again, I'd love to hear from you if you're watching on the live stream. Jacobs then via Twitter for shout-outs. Tell me where you are in the world and how you're spending Easter. Liverpool supporters, please engage with us as well. Even if you can just donate £1 or the price of a cup of coffee or an Easter egg, it would be much appreciated. Even just that 99p Cadbury's cream egg price. Everyone always says they put on weight at Easter, so if you're worried about that, don't buy the Cadbury's cream egg and spend the 99p on donating to our stream instead. In fact, don't be that stingy. Round it up to £1. We'd love your donations because it does help the club function during difficult times. Here's Taylor Hines down the line looking for Holland. Well pleased by Hack, good defending. She's able to stop the corner as well. That's a throw into Liverpool right by the corner flag. Liverpool third in the FA Women's Championship, Lewes in 5th place. It's also looking to complete a hat-trick of league victories as well, which has never happened before, so history could be made. 3-0 away at Blackburn, 2-1 against London Bees. They are 1-0 behind here to an own goal. She's seen plenty of the ball, very congested through the centre, but that's a dangerous diagonal ball which Boswell deals with well under pressure from Holland. Shirts around her, again has the foresight just to hammer that out of play. 30 minutes gone at Prenton Park. Liverpool winning 1, Lewes 0. The best ball backwards there to Jade Bailey and Umatom trying to take advantage of it. Timms neatly laid to the left-hand side. Made a decent run on the far right hand side if the ball was switched diagonally, but Liverpool tracked back well. A yellow card. Sophie O'Rourke has gone in the book. So once again, a happy Easter to all of you. Ben Jacobs and Stuart Fuller with you on the live stream, our first ever away match stream. At Jacobs, Ben, if you would like an Easter shout out, I'd love to hear from some of you. Send me a photograph of maybe your Easter egg or your Easter meal. Pets, babies, all welcome. Family reunions too, because the social distancing rules now do allow many of us to spend Easter with our loved ones, which is great, and hopefully we'll be back inside football stadiums very soon too. Government testing begins quite shortly, including the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley Stadium, where we'll see 4,000 supporters from the Brains area in the FA Cup semi-final between Leicester City and Southampton. Liverpool captain Fahy in field to Jade Bailey, who joined from Chelsea a couple of years ago. Liverpool's last loss was January against Leicester City by 2 goals to 1. One of the key wins for Leicester en route to seemingly winning the league, which they can do today. Here's Ashley Hodgson, dangerous area, punched away by Saunders though, and Tim's in a good place to mop up despite the fact that Furness is breathing down her neck. Now Umaton to chase and just pulls the shirt a little cynically of Michaela Moore, Kiwi international, who Katie Rood will know well. Rood is on the bench for Lewes. Just a reminder of the teams once again. Lewes with Saunders and goal. Boswell, Cleverly, Cousins, O'Rourke and Pack across the back. Mackie and Rouse, the two deep in midfield. There's Timms, Ashworth, Clifford ahead of them. Innie, Umaton, effectively a lone striker, but when Lewes are coming forward, Ashworth, Clifford and Timms are pushing into a front three. And on the bench for Lewes, Sammy Quayle, Danny Lane, Emma Jones, Simran Janat, Ellie Leek, Philippa Sada, Katie Rood. Liverpool with Foster, Roberts, Moore, Fahy, the captain, Hines, Becky Jane, Bailey, Hodgson, Holland, Furness, who has 5 goals in the FA Women's Championship, and Kirsty Lynette. On the bench for Liverpool, Eleanor Heeds, the goalkeeper. Rachel Laws is missing from the squad. She's normally the #1 goalkeeper. Leanne Rowe, Annie Festra, Alyssa Lawley, Amy Rogers, Missy Beaucaire, who we feel a little bit disappointed to have been demoted to the bench, having scored last time out in the 1-1 draw with Blackburn. Lucy Parry leading the bench on the home side. Minutes to go until the break plus added time. Liverpool 1, Lewes 0. Own goal from a corner, a contentious corner because it was originally given as a goal kick. That's the difference between the two sides. Headed at the cluster of defenders to the far corner. As we look at it anyway, the near corner, from the perspective where the corner kick was taken, nothing Saunders could have done. As Furness, neat feet, spreads it out to the right hand side. Here's Roberts. Jane is ahead of her. Calling for the diagonal on the left side. It's then short to Holland. Umaton brings it down well and gets a boot to the knock-on too. Having to do a lot by herself though on that occasion and with very little support because the Rooks were in a defensive shape. Furness, who's Northern Irish, to Lynette. Slightly short ball to Fahy, and Ashworth Clifford was alert to that as well, but just about reached the Liverpool captain, and now it's back with Riley Foster, the 22-year-old Canadian. He played sophomore soccer, as it's called, at West Virginia University. I'll do some shout-outs as ever in a moment. Happy Easter to all of you at Jacobs Ben if you would like to get in contact with me via Twitter. Here come Liverpool into the near post. Almost found the excellent run from Ashley Hodgson, but it was just behind her, and that's why she had her head in her hands. Hines for Liverpool. Bobbles up in front of Holland. She'll find Furness though, who goes down under a challenge from Cleverly. Play continues. Hack had no other option, but she did show good intelligence to realise that and just passes it out for a corner. Lewes need to be alert here. The last thing they want to do, obviously, is concede a second, and it might prove to be a killer second goal right before half time. 1-0 is okay. Nikki, happy Easter, Nikki O'Connor always tweets me and she's in Dubai, says hanging out with Ziggy. Ziggy's a cat as it's drilled into the back post. Saunders did well and Furness's shot is blocked by O'Rourke, and again Lewes defending well. Apologies if some of you can't hear us too clearly through the feed. We're doing this a bit differently because it's an away game, so we hope that you're getting a clear picture, decent enough sound to follow the game. Ben Jacobs with you. Tell you what, Nicky, I'll just shout, given you said you couldn't hear me that clearly. And then if it gets too annoying, you can basically say, quiet down, Ben. Shut up, Ben. Better that I try and raise my voice to paint a bit of colour for you. But Nicky is hanging out with Ziggy, thanks for the picture. And Lewis Busker says a donations link is now now pinned on the YouTube chat as well. Glad that you've been able to promote that for us. So if you are following us on YouTube, please do donate, even just the price of an Easter egg. If you can spare 2 Easter eggs, then buy one and donate the price of one, and then get the other one to me, because I'm feeling kind of hungry and like I deserve a bit of chocolate. It was a long old journey for the team here at Lewes up to Prenton Park. The team came up yesterday and stayed overnight, and they were out and about through the city. It's a bit of a WSL and FA Women's Championship party here in Liverpool, because Aston Villa are up as well. So Villa staying in one hotel, Lewes in one hotel. We saw some Liverpool players walking their dogs, Rachel Furness in particular, and running through the city yesterday in some pre-match training. So I think half of the women's football community are in Liverpool for Easter. Hines under pressure from Timms, who keeps her composure and puts the hands behind the back to make sure she doesn't give away a foul. Opportunity for Lewes to pickpocket Hines, and they've done really well on this occasion. Neatly into Umaton, which is almost able to force that ball into the path of Megan Mackey. Lewes have to settle away for a corner. 5 minutes to go until half time. Much better from Lewes after a slow start where they were punished, albeit slightly unfortunately, with an own goal, and that's the difference between the two sides. Now there is home corner. Leanne Cleverly standing right in front of Riley Foster. Ashton Clifford to deliver. Hackers at the back post, and it comes. It's hit with pace and purpose. And that could have even curled in all the way. Liverpool think it went straight out. It was obviously brushed off the defender. It's a corner now on the far side to Lewes. That far side might need a bit of medical attention. It's been bent at about 45 degrees, which tells you how blustery it is. Will deliver this corner, Hack at the back post, into the near post, bobbles up in a dangerous area, Hack is there, almost missed it Cleverly, couple of efforts here for O'Rourke, still in there, Cleverly, now Cousins, Cleverly again, Timms, and ball! Lewes are absolutely in here, that's a penalty, and it's a corner that's been given. Declan Brown, totally immune to the protest, that's a stone cold penalty. And Lewes, at one end, having not got a decision on a goal kick, and instead it was a corner to Liverpool that led to a goal, this time have to settle for a corner after pinball in the area. Timms with a couple of efforts, O'Rourke was in there, Cousins had a slash in it as well, Cleverly with an effort too. It's only a corner, it's to a back post, it's too strong, it's out for a goal kick. To me, that was a penalty. To Lewes, that was a penalty. Stuart Fuller, what did you think?
100% penalty. She led arms in front of her, the ball smashed against her arm. There's no doubt about that.
Not given though by Declan Brown, who did have a good view of it and waved his arms away very confidently and very early. But I don't think that's the right decision by the official, and we're not just saying that because we are, of course, the official Lewes feed. Let me know what you think if you're watching on the feed at Jacobs Bend. That was a golden opportunity there in that passage of play for Lewes to equalise. We've only got a couple of minutes before half time now. To be honest with you, Liverpool are time wasting a little bit. Still 3 minutes plus added time. Stuart, let me just bring you in on the half chances, decent chances from a number of players leading up to that corner as well. It was pinball in the area, blocked on a number of occasions. Timms had a couple of efforts at it. That's not the best ball back to Saunders, who uses her head very effectively, and now we'll be able to clear our lines. But yeah, Timms had a couple of efforts blocked. Cousins had a slash at it. Cleverly was in there as well, and somehow Lewes couldn't score. We had a very similar kind of moment actually in the Bees game right before half time to that.
Yeah, I think that one of our strengths is corners. I think that we've got with Nicola Cousins and Rianne, we've got people who can really cause problems, and we did that. We caused problems. Liverpool were throwing their bodies on the line there to block the shots, and we can count ourselves unlucky not to have come out of there with either a goal or the penalty for the handball.
Yeah, very unfortunate from Lewis's point of view, but it gives them hope just before half time. We've got about 2 minutes remaining. Make sure you tweet me at Jacobs Ben if you'd like a shout out or happy Easter. I'd love to hear from you, and paint some picture as well as to how you are spending your Easter as well. The donations link is available via the feed and YouTube too. Furness with space to lay it off to Hines. He cuts in field and she sold Timms a little dummy there and then almost squeezed it into the near corner, but Saunders watched it all the way, covered her goal, and that's harmlessly out for a goal kick. So lots to talk about. Was it even a corner in the build-up to the Liverpool goal? And the confusion there was that the official who was closest on the far right-hand side said goal kick, and then he was overruled by the referee, and it led to an own goal. That's given away by Lewes, Holland, Furness, danger here, Linnet on the edge of the area, not too much space, Mackie maybe clipped off from behind, but play continues, and Lewes potentially getting away with one there as Cousins happy just to get distance on the ball. But lots to talk about in the build-up to that goal as to whether it was or wasn't a corner. Then at the other end, should Lewes have had a penalty for handball? The Rook's best chance of the game was around that decision that wasn't given, with Timms firing one towards the goal and it was blocked, and then Cousins having a slash at it. Again, it was blocked, and Cleverley was in there in the 6-yard area too, but eventually it ricocheted out for a corner. And unfortunately for Lewes, they are finding themselves behind heading into half-time by a 1-0 an own goal. But lots of positives for Lewes as they found a bit of rhythm, and they are causing Liverpool some problems. A game of a few close chances. Both sides actually have used the channels effectively and look relatively dangerous through midfield. But neither goalkeeper has had that many meaningful saves to make as we hit the 45-minute mark. Was running the other way, and had she not been, she could have been in, but she also charged down Foster, and Moore again under pressure from Timms. This time she does well and lays it down that left-hand side where Ashley Hodgson is trying to get the better of Ellie Hack, but Hack slides across well. Excellent from the Brighton loanee. Heading into injury time. That'll be that, so virtually no additional time played. And a contentious first half in many ways. I'll say that loudly because I'm right in front of the officials, but I mean, in fairness, they have got better views of some things. But there's definitely a conversation going on at the moment, and Rhiannon Cleverley now is actually going up to the officials. I'm just going to stop for a moment to see if I can hear what Rhea is saying. Stuart Fuller. As I say, nobody wants to question in a critical way the officials. We respect what they do here at Lewes FC. We know it's a difficult job, and ultimately football is both a subjective and an objective game at times, but there's definitely two talking points. The goal, simply because even if the referee got it right, the official originally gave it as a goal kick, then they changed their mind, and that may well be the right decision. It's hard for us to tell because it was on the far side, but it led to a goal, and of course the penalty at the other end. So there is lots to digest, and you can understand why Rhiannon Cleverley and Lewes are maybe a bit unhappy at half-time, Stuart.
Yeah, you can. I mean, let's take the corner for a start. The reaction of the players seemed to suggest it was a goal kick. The linesman who was closer to the ball than the referee gave a goal kick, and it was quite a surprise when the referee gave a corner. He may have seen something that nobody else did. We don't know. We haven't got the luxury of a replay up there. And at the other end, again, I think that the referee was probably in a very good position to have seen it. The reaction of the players tells you a lot. And you certainly heard a thud of the ball against skin. And from where that ball was, that to me was that looked like handball. But I think that there's a lot of encouragement there. I think that if I was Simon in the dressing room at half time, I would be trying to encourage Lucy to get wider, to really try and get behind her man, her woman, because she's not really been in the game, and we know how dangerous she can be. I think at times where we've got the flat back five, Liverpool are just pushing two forwards up, so Liverpool are overwhelming the midfield because they're dropping players off the five. So perhaps I'd look at pushing Sophie and Charlie a little bit further forward, and then trying to look at in runs behind the centre back. The centre backs twice has slipped, and Innie has sort of hasn't. She's gone with the ball, which is what she should do, as opposed to looking for a mistake. But perhaps the ball behind the centre back could be the one that gives us the most luck going forward.
So looking ahead to the second half, do you think it will be a formational change at some point anyway, or do you expect, effectively, as you've alluded to, Simon to be quite happy with that first half and just to be encouraging Lewes to keep it tight at the back, keep winning those corners, because every time they get a set piece, they cause some problems?
I mean, we're not out of this at all. I mean, we've played well. I think the first 5 minutes, I don't know whether people were a bit unclear as to what they should be doing, but we started really slow in the first 5 minutes, and I don't think the goal was too much of a surprise. But since then, we've battled and we've looked positive going forward. We've played some good football, and I think that at times we're taking advantage of where we have the spare. But I think that second half, I would think that he'll keep it the same, maybe for 10-15 minutes, and then perhaps look at Emma Jones, or even bringing Danny Lane in there again, as she did against Blackburn, to see if she can use her presence to sort of push forward and look to shoot from distance. The one thing we haven't done, which is disappointing, is get a shot in from outside the penalty area, which I think we need to do, because we don't really know how the effect of the pitch or the bobble on the goalkeeper. So let's just try that. Let's see if we can get some shots in.
Great stuff. Stuart, I'll let you have that Malteser bunny, and we'll see you in the second half. Stuart Fuller, director and owner here at Lewes FC, and one of the long-standing owners of this community-owned club. And hey, for Easter, if you're not an owner, why not buy yourself one of the best gifts in football and become a Lewes owner? And if you're not interested in that, you can still donate towards this match and help us sustain ourselves during difficult times. An early own goal is the difference between the sides. Half-time at Prenton Park. It is Liverpool Women 1, Lewes 0. We'll be back for full second half commentary on the official club feed, the only place where you can watch this game, our first ever away broadcast. It's great to have your company. Happy Easter to all of you. We'll see you for the second half. Saying that the audio is quite low. It might just be that when you told it like that, almost. Is that why it comes up? It's not like it's it might be if I hold it like that. It looked like it was one of these kind of here. But yeah, we said it's a little bit low, so I think kind of holding it like that, but I don't want to distort it. But yeah. But they can hear us, and we're on, so everything's been good, yeah. Totally agree. Are we promoting it on the feed to make sure people know that it's on? Worth just thinking something at half time. It's worth just saying, like, second half about to go. Welcome back to Prenton Park, second half about to get underway. The officials just making their way out. Substitutes warming up at half-time. Lewes trailing by a goal to nil, an own goal. We believe Ellie Hack got the final touch. Corner on the right-hand side. Lots of talking points. One of them was whether it was even a corner in the first place, because the assistant actually gave a goal kick and the referee overruled him after loud protests from the Liverpool players. And in fairness, those Liverpool players did have a closer view than either us or the referee, but not the official, who was right by where the ball went out, as you would expect. So Lewes will feel a little bit aggrieved, because then the corner coming in was put into the back of the net in the right-hand corner for the opening goal after just 5 minutes in the game. Lewes responded well, though. They got used to their back five and they caused a lot of problems and half chances via set pieces. And then 5 minutes before half-time, there was a big talking point, a penalty shout after pinball in the area, but it wasn't given by the official. Loud protests by a number of Lewes players, and Ryan cleverly at the end even going over and talking to the officials as well, who were last into the changing room. Lewes very unhappy. But again, we're not the kind of club here to be pointing fingers at officials. They are qualified and had a good view of all the incidents. We're simply pointing out that Lewes had some disagreement. They feel they should have had a penalty. In terms of chances for the Rooks, well, there was a golden passage of play leading to that penalty shout. Georgia Timms with a shot that was blocked. Nicola Cousins with an effort that was blocked. Rianne Cleverly was in the 6-yard area as well. And after a moment of panic and a number of deflections, Lewes thought that they should have had a penalty instead of handball. It was a corner, and unfortunately for Lewes, it came to nothing. So as we start the second half, Liverpool women leading by a goal to nil, third against fifth in the FA Women's Championship. And out come Liverpool to start the second half. Liverpool with 2 changes from their 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers. Riley Foster in goal. Rianne Roberts, Michaela Moore, Neem Fahy, the captain, and Taylor Hines. Becky Jane, Jade Bailey, Ashley Hodgson. One of the 2 changes in for Missy Bo Cairns and Kerry Holland. Kirsty Lynette and Rachel Furness. Lynette the second change in for Melissa Lawley. As for Lewes, effectively playing a 5-2-3 when they're in attacking phases and a 5-4-1 when they're in defensive phases. Ini Umatong leading the line. There's 2 changes from the 1-1 draw against London Bees. Out of the side goes Danny Lane and Emma Jones. In comes Georgia Timms and Nicola Cousins. Tatiana Saunders, Charlie Boswell and Sophie O'Rourke, the 2 fullbacks. Cousins, Cleverly and Hack are the 3 defenders. Megan Mackey and Molly Rouse, the 2 midfielders. Georgia Timms and Lucy Ashworth-Clifford, the wide midfielders, come forwards, and Ini Umatong is leading the line with 4 goals in her last 4 games. Players going through their warm-ups. Happy Easter to all of you. If you'd like a shout-out at Jacobs Ben, I want photos of Easter eggs, I want photos of pets, I want photos of Easter lunches in this early kick-off. And have you been reunited with a family member across Sussex or globally? If so, please send me a photograph as well. Now the social distancing laws have started to relax. We hope that you've been able to interact over this holiday period with your friends and family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you back at the Dripping Pan very soon. Stuart Fuller, cameraman, come co-commentator, come Malteser Easter Bunny eater, is alongside me. Thoughts ahead of the second half, Stuart?
Yeah, I hope that Simon has reminded the team the positives from that first half. I think if we don't sit back, let's take the game to Liverpool. Let's look at using our wide players. We've got some very good wide players, and try and stretch Liverpool and see where we can go and build on that. You know, those moments where we had the chances, and look at where the gaps are in the Liverpool team. As I mentioned just before half time, their centre backs play really wide, and there is space behind them. We just need to get Ini behind them, and we need to get the balls across the top or around the back of them. Look at playing on their insecurity and some of the mistakes they make.
Thank you, Stuart. He is on camera and occasional co-coms. Again, I'd love to give you a shout out via @JacobsBen. Liverpool fans, if you are tuning in, great to hear from you as well. Not quite the season you were hoping for in terms of a return to the FAWSL, but give me your thoughts on the first 45 too, and if you can donate, that would be much appreciated. Even just a few pounds, the price of an Easter egg, would be greatly appreciated to help us get through COVID. Anyone who donates more than £10 will go into a random draw to win an away Lyle and Scott Lewes shirt, which they're of course sporting this afternoon. You can have it signed or you can wear it, totally up to you. So plenty for Lewes to ponder at half-time, positives and negatives. Negative being the scoreline, the own goal, the difference between the two sides. We think the last touch came off Ellie Hack. But after the goal, Lewes recovered well and caused a fair few problems via set pieces. And they did trail to Liverpool in the last meeting twice and were able to fight back and get an excellent point, one of their best points of the season. Just a reminder as well, we've still got another home game at the Pan against Liverpool. So rivals, I should say, for promotion, Leicester City. Leicester City playing today against the Lionesses. Liverpool and Leicester, along with Durham, three sides contending for promotion through much of the season, but Leicester have pulled away and Leicester can actually get promoted today if they beat the Lionesses, and they'll go up as champions, and then we will welcome Leicester City to the Pan and no doubt give them some kind of guard of honour. Tom starting with purpose, trying to chase down and exert some pressure on Riley Foster. No changes for either side at the break, so once again from Lewis's perspective, Saunders, Boswell, Cleverly, Cousins, O'Rourke, Hack, Mackie, Rouse, Timms, Umaton and Ashworth Clifford. Still haven't seen enough Easter eggs on Twitter via @JacobsBen, please. I'd love to hear from you if you're munching away wherever you are in the world, watching on the feed and perhaps enjoying some chocolate. I suppose for some of you, you're digging into an Easter lunch first and the chocolate will come a little bit later. Should point out again that in the warm-up, Lewes are wearing very special t-shirts with Football Welcomes Refugees on them. We're supporting the UNHCR in a global campaign this month. As ever, Lewes, not just about the football, always approaching football in a wider sense of how we can be socially conscious and how we can be as inclusive as possible in all areas. To Liverpool fans watching, the men and the women get equal budgets and equal resources here at Lewes FC. We're the first club in England to do that. Just think where Liverpool women could be if they start to match the men's feats. There was a stark contrast last season between the women going down and the men storming to a very impressive Premier League title. And although Liverpool are well supported, they don't play at Anfield, although Prenton Park is a wonderful stadium and perfect for them to try and build foundations to get back into the FAWSL. And with the new Sky Sports and BBC deal, which will also benefit Championship clubs financially as well, it is exciting times for women's football. But Liverpool definitely need to rebuild and also find a new permanent manager. Vicky Jepson going. Amber Whiteley is the caretaker manager for now until the end of the season. Hines on the ball, cheaply given away in Umaton. Ashworth Clifford is running. Umaton realised exactly where she was and it was nearly the perfect ball, but Michaela Moore with strong positioning to intercept and then set away Hodgson down the left-hand side. Becky Jane has made an intrepid run into the area. Lewes need to be careful here. Furness wants the ball. Saunders did really well to dive in there and just take the ball off the toes of Kirsty Linnett. But from Liverpool's perspective, she should have looked up because Furness was there and Jane was there. And Lewes perhaps a little bit lucky. Danger not over though. Holland dribbled into a dangerous area. Linnett is there again and it's blocked away for a corner. Much like the first 5 minutes of the first half, Lewes are on the ropes here. And they need to focus and build on a positive end to the first half. Holland will deliver this corner. The Welsh midfielder into a dangerous area. Fahy is in there, and then Rhiannon Roberts didn't hit it that cleanly and was leaning back, but it almost caused Saunders some problems. And another half chance goes begging for Liverpool, and it stays at 1-0. Stuart, much like the first half, Liverpool have started the stronger of the two teams in this opening few minutes.
Yeah, they have, but I think we had a chance a few minutes ago. As I mentioned, Innie had created some space and there was a bit of a gap behind her that Lucy tried to get into. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't quite reach her. But Liverpool playing a very loose sort of back three at the moment, and I think there's going to be some opportunities behind them as the game progresses.
Liverpool going off the back of a 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers here at Prenton Park. One of Blackburn's best performances of the season. Too many teams have come here and taken points throughout the course of the season. To the Rooks. Early stages, second half, early kick-off in the FA Women's Championship. And it's Liverpool Women 1, Lewes 0. Ben Jacobs and Stuart Fuller joining me on occasion when we get some breaks in play. The ball just slipped out of O'Rourke's hands there, and that's why the throw-in didn't have quite as much purchase or distance as she would have hoped. Fahy, Hines making the pitch as wide as possible, and Ashley Hodgson, who's been at Liverpool since 2014, starting her run a little bit early there, and that is an offside. If Lewes do turn to their bench, they have Sammy Quayle, Danny Lane, Emma Jones, Simran Jana, Ellie Leake, Philippa Sava, and Katie Rood. Rood, the Kiwi international, who will know Michaela Moore on the Liverpool side well, because Moore has won 35 caps for New Zealand. And just to point out once again that this is the only place where you can watch the game, and it's a first for Lewes, travelling away from home to bring you a live match broadcast, and there's an opportunity here for Mackie to drive through the centre. Furness trying to police her. Umatong might have been offside, so that little deflection could help Lewes as Timms is trying to win the corner, and she does so. And this is where Lewes caused Liverpool a number of problems in the first half from corner kicks as Ashworth Clifford trots over to take it. To deliver high and looping, catches up in the wind, and Umatong got her head to it, but can't guide it anywhere near the goal. Get in contact with me for shout-outs at Jacobs Ben. Happy Easter to all of you. Great to have your company. Thanks to Chattanooga, Big Chattanooga, who says Winnie the Poodle makes a guest appearance, boosts the rating amongst key demographics. Winnie is actually not in Prenton Park with me though, because it's only the Drickington in the FA Women's Championship that allows dogs, because that's how cool and inclusive we are. So Winnie's with a sitter at the moment, and Karen Dobray therefore says Winnie forever. She does sound a bit like the ball is round on the mic though. In other words, that's Stuart Fuller. So you're being called a dog, Stuart?
I've been called worse.
Yeah, Winnie isn't here, but if you're missing her, I will occasionally during a break and play make some barking sounds on the mic. Stephen Hamilton says, Happy Easter, Ben. Thanks for the coverage and commentary today. He can't find the link to donate. Could you point me in the right direction? Charlie Dobray, who I know is watching, please tweet Yellow Marlin at Yellow Marlin, who's also sent me a Lego bunny, which is unbelievable. I don't know whether you put that together or your children did, Stephen, or whether you bought that fully made. I certainly know that if that came in pieces, I would stand no chance of making that into the kind of Lego bunny that you've created. It looks absolutely excellent. Thanks for sending me that picture. As Furness comes on the counter-attack for Liverpool, who, talking of dogs, I saw her yesterday walking her dog and had a good chat about Liverpool's future, and she's certainly looking forward to building ahead of next season. Furness, the main source of goals in this starting 11 for Liverpool. She has 5 in the FA Women's Women's Championship. Off the training ground, this for Liverpool is down the line. It goes to Hodgson, who uses her pace to get into the area. Dangerous area, glancing header. That has worked very well for Liverpool from the training ground. It's a good goal by the home side, and they now have doubled their lead. 2-0 to Liverpool. I think the final touch has come from a glancing header from the net. Good goal. Lewes just fell asleep down the left-hand side, and unfortunately Hodgson was allowed to break, and the net was in there. And also Rhiannon Roberts, and I actually think it's Rhiannon Roberts who has got the final touch with the glancing header. Good move by Liverpool.
Goal scorer for Liverpool, number 15, Michaela Moore.
And in fact, the goal's been given to Michaela Moore. I wasn't sure that it was her goal, but that's who Liverpool's tannoy have credited it to, so we'll go with that. And Liverpool lead by 2-0. Stuart, it was a good move by Liverpool, but Lewes fell asleep down the far left-hand side.
Yeah, it was a great move. Set piece, you could see they've worked on that. Good cross, good low cross, and a good low stooping header. I'm not sure it was given to the right person by the tannoy, actually.
Yeah, I thought Roberts got the goal. That's who I gave it to in the end, but it's been given to Michaela Moore, the Kiwi. We'll try and confirm that with you, whether we as your visiting team are right or whether the Liverpool tannoy is correct. But for me, that was Roberts' goal. And now Lewes need to be a bit more expansive to try and get into this one. Well, it's been given to Moore by Liverpool's official Twitter as well. So we will have to go with that for now. Inumatong spreads it out to the right-hand side, and a little toe poke away by Hodgson, who's been one of Liverpool's best players. Thanks to Eddie Stone, who's been in contact with a Liverpool fan. I'd love to hear from you if you're a Liverpool fan as well. He's enjoying the game. Great game too. Is it as windy as it sounds? It absolutely is. You might see the corner flags, certainly now when Lewes go in there, take this corner, but the one on the far side for Liverpool, the far left-hand side, is basically at a point where it might need to be substituted. It's that bent, and that tells you how aggressive the wind is. So yeah, it's very windy. Thanks for getting in contact. Looped in towards Umatong and Hack. It beats them both from the corner. Cousins will pick it up at the back post. Rouse on the edge of the area. Not the best ball, but O'Rourke can pick it up and then try and get it back in the box. Hack just mishit that delivery. Umatong was leaning into Furness there, but it's no free kick to Liverpool, who can break now. Hodgson offside. It's lucky because Holland had stormed into the area. So Liverpool lead 2-0, an own goal, and officially Michaela Moore with the second. Quick break down the left-hand side by Holland, who found Hodgson, and then she just used her pace to storm into the area and played a deft and well-weighted ball, which was glanced in at the near post. So Lewes now trailing 2-0. We've played 15 minutes of the second half, and that's too strong on that occasion for Jane down the right-hand side. Do donate if you can via the feed. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is there. If you're watching via the official feed on the Lewes FC website, then you should see a donate now button, and through that you can give us £5,000 to watch the match, or at least £1. Whatever you of course can spare. We know that times are difficult, but it is Easter, And if anyone is feeling generous in the holiday spirit, please do donate. Anyone that donates more than £10 will enter a random draw. We'll announce this in the next 25 hours to win either a signed shirt or a wearable shirt, or both if you never want to wash it, of course. The away Lewes strip that we're wearing today, sponsored by Lyle and Scott, brand new sponsor this season. It's a really cool kit with a sort of black and red streak through the middle and then the yellow Lyle and Scott logo. And if you want to enter the draw for that, all you've got to do is donate £10 or more. Looks like Liverpool are preparing the first substitution of the game on the far side. As Lewes waits to take this free kick on the halfway line. Now they've got second goal, we might see a tactical change as well.
2 off.
Becky Jane goes off and under COVID
Substitution for Liverpool replacing
the
number
nearest
2.
part
Becky
where she's
Jane,
standing.
11, Melissa Lawley.
Melissa Lawley, who started the last game, comes on, so Jane doesn't run through the central tunnel. She has to walk all the way around the ground because she was playing on the right hand side. Melissa Lawley comes on. Lewes, incidentally under COVID protocol, walking out the side of the ground. So limited contact between the teams, and they of course don't come out together either. Clifford is trying to chase that ball down, and the clearance will at least be a Lewes throw, which Boswell can take. Philippa Sava is one of 2 Lewes players warming up at the moment. It looks like the Rooks are going to make a change. Timms is definitely one of the players going off. Sava is waiting to come on. It looks like Simon Parker is going to be changing to a 4-3-3. I'm pretty sure he just shouted the word usual, followed by 4-3-3. One of the beauties of COVID, even though we miss the fans, is the fact that we can hear a lot of what's being said. And Lewes Stewart going for it now in a 4-3-3.
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose now. 2-0 down, a half an hour to go. So, yeah, go for 4-3-3. You've still got the dangerous players on the pitch. So it's now an opportunity to start pushing Liverpool back into their third.
So in that double change, just while we were hearing from Stuart, Emma Jones is the other player that's come on. As Mackie picks up the ball but can't find Matong. Second player that's gone off instantly is Ellie Hack. So Lewes now moving into a 4-3-3. So the back four has Boswell, Cleverley, Cousins and O'Rourke with Saunders in goal. The midfield has Rouse and Philippa Sava, both of whom can get box to box. And then Megan Mackey, and then Ashworth Clifford, Ini Umatong and Emma Jones, the 3 up top for Lewes. So the double substitution along with the formational change as Lewes try and get back in this game with 22 minutes gone of the second half. Shout outs please to @JacobsBen. Easter wishes as well. Love to give you a shout out whether you're a Liverpool fan or a Lewes supporter. We are the only people bringing you this game. It's the first time that Lewes have ever done an away feed. Mackie, Liverpool's captain Fahy, and then Hines there ahead of her. Holland will bring the ball away for Liverpool. Storming into the area once again, cleverly gets the ball near post. Picked up by Lynette. Lewes ball. So Liverpool in control now. Michaela Moore with a lovely glancing header. It was all about the quick free kick though down the left-hand side as Holland found Hodgson, and then she put a well-weighted cross in, and there was the Kiwi defender Moore with the glancing header. Actually, it's Fahy who tends to get the most goals from the back. She's got 3 in the FAWSL this season. I think 2 of them came against Coventry in a rout, but Moore getting herself on the score sheet. Really impressed though by Hodgson all game, but especially the quick thinking to play her down the left, which was clearly from the training ground, and then she delivered a perfect ball which Moore took with aplomb. Lewes with a lot of work to do now if they're to get the same result they had at the Dripping Pan, which was a 2-2 draw. In that game they were behind, but only ever by a goal. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 Liverpool, and then 2-2. Ellie Hack with the Lewes goals. Star player actually in that game was Rinsola Babadije, who isn't part of the squad at the moment. When she fires for Liverpool, they look very, very strong as well. And then there's also Amelie Festrup, who's only on the bench, who scored at the Dripping Pan, another really good player. So there is a bit of depth in this Liverpool squad, but in the big games that have mattered, they've dropped points, including their last defeat against Leicester City. That's why they're 3rd in the table. And Leicester, remember, can win the league today as Roberts finds Furness. That free kick, but Furness gets in the way.
Substitution Liverpool, number 18, Terry Holland, 21, Missy Bocans.
Terry Holland goes off. And Missy Bocans comes on as Liverpool make another change. Missy Bocans, much like Melissa Lawley, the other substitute who's on, had started the last game for Liverpool. Just a reminder once again that Lewes still have another home game this season, maybe more. That's in the FA Women's Championship, the one definite game against Leicester City, and then there is an FA Cup 4th round match which is also at home, in all likelihood against Southampton, and then there might be another one depending on how far we get, because there'll be 2 rounds of the FA Women's Cup played this season, and it will then be concluded next season. As in it comes to Emma Jones, she broke that down really, really well. Fahy stays close. Iniumatong is in there, gets the shot away. It's well blocked. Another good opportunity though for Lewes, trying to take advantage, but the goal scorer Michaela Moore with more good positioning. She's probably been the best defender for Liverpool, even though, as Stuart Fuller said on a number of occasions, the 2 centre-backs have looked a bit pulled apart at times, but I was really impressed, Stuart, by Moore's positional sense there to get in a vital block.
Yeah, she's played really well actually. There's a number of times where she's been essentially the last defender, and she's cut the ball out really, really well. But it's still encouraging. We're still pushing forward. We've not given up on this, certainly. And if we can get one goal back, then the belief in the team will rise significantly. And we just mustn't give up.
Lots of you on the feed, well over 250, which is a good number for an Easter lunch, as a snapshot comes in from Sophie O'Rourke, but it's watched all the way, and it's the simplest of takes by Foster, the Canadian in the Liverpool goal. Give me a shout out for Easter if you would like to have your name enshrined in history, because this is our first ever away broadcast at Lewes FC. We've done a lot of firsts repeatedly at this club. First club to give its men and women equal budget and resources. First club to serve Prosecco off tap at the dripping pan. First club to back football against homophobia at this level. First club to support an April-long campaign around inclusion and refugees. The players were wearing UNHCR-backed t-shirts, and they will do all of April, saying football welcomes refugees. We just do things a bit differently here at Lewes FC. Same budget and resources for the men and women, and we have a social conscience too. Things are very much looking bright for the future despite COVID. Our best points tally at this level, hopefully our best ever finish. 5th place at the moment, and it looks like a battle between ourselves and London City Lionesses for 5th place, and London City have to go to Leicester, so even if we lose we shouldn't drop much ground, as Bo Cairns, the substitute, storming into the area but dispossessed, and now Clifford comes away with it and had good vision to try and find O'Rourke, but it's just asking a bit much of her, and Roberts just leans in and shepherds that one out for a Liverpool throw-in. Lewes once again have now moved to a 4-3-3 as they look to try and get back into this game. An own goal and a Michaela Moore header, the difference between the two sides. Duncan Morris has been in touch and says was just delighted to support Lewes FC Women's 12th Women's Scheme and a Liverpool women's fan, but I admire their commitment to equality and the fact that they're giving us a live feed of today's game. Thanks so much, Duncan. It's great to bring you this feed first and foremost, and I'm really happy that you can support our 12th Women's Scheme, and we wish you a very happy Easter and hope that you are well and healthy. As Zinni Umaton storms into the area, and Michaela Moore was standing right in front of her. Unfortunately, the ball has hit Umaton square in the face there, and fair play to Moore, the first to tell the official to stop the game. Umaton gets up a little bit gingerly, but I think she'll be okay. Great to have Liverpool fans watching the stream and supporting us. We'd love to hear from you as well, even though we are the official Lewes stream, because we're bringing you this game to both teams. I definitely want to engage with some Liverpool supporters. I also hope that if you're in the Liverpool area, you've been able to get out and about in the dock and see the light show over Easter, which we were able to catch last night. It's beautiful. Great city, Liverpool, formerly a city of culture for the year, and the dock area where we're staying, because it's an easy path over into Birkenhead where Prenton Park is looking wonderful at the moment. Ashworth Clifford on the ball for Lewes, infield to Rouse. Philippa Savard, the substitute, in plenty of space and caught between a cross and a shot there. She was trying to pick out Emma Jones, but it's harmlessly into the hands of Riley Foster, who is wearing a number 13 jersey, which you don't see too often from a goalkeeper, or in fact any footballer, but she obviously sees it as a lucky number. Could bring her a clean sheet, but Cousins trying to set off Saba. The ball was just too strong though, and Liverpool very much in control at the moment, despite the hustle of Lewes, who are pressing from the front. They're starting to run out of time now. As for Liverpool women, well, they've got a tough draw in the FA Women's Cup away at Leicester on the 18th of April. Then they go away at Sheffield United, also a difficult fixture, and then they finish at home to London City as they hope to consolidate third place. Then, as I said earlier, find a full-time manager. Amber Whiteley is the interim boss, as Lewes will make some more changes here. Rouse going off, and Megan Mackey as well. Danny Lane coming on, and I would imagine Katie Rood as well.
I think it was
Ellie Noble is another player to be aware of, who's potentially in the mix to come on too.
Sorry.
Ellie Leake, I should say. Not Ellie Noble.
Yeah.
Ellie Noble not part of the squad, and it is Ellie Leake, in fact, that has taken her place on the field. Incidentally, it's been a good weekend, if you like, for the Leake family, so to speak, because Leake's girlfriend Martha Thomas scored a hat-trick for West Ham in an excellent win away at Reading by 5-0. So just to confirm, the two Lewes substitutions, see Lane and Leake, the two L's come on. O'Rourke with good pressure, neat backheel by Ashworth Clifford. O'Rourke on the ball now with time and space into a dangerous area, and it was Emma Jones who stormed into the area, but the ball just whistled under her foot, and Furness comes away with the ball for Liverpool. Up to Lynette. At Jacobs Ben, if you would like a shout out or a happy Easter message, send me photographs of who you're spending Easter with. Still not seen enough Easter eggs on the field. I say on the field, I mean on your stream or in your living room for me to look at whilst I'm watching the field. Furness over the halfway line, and a decent enough looking ball originally when it left her foot to Lawley, but it will roll out of play and allow Boswell to take this throw in. Just 10 minutes remaining now for Lewes to try and get a dramatic turnaround. What do they have to do to at least give themselves a chance, Stuart?
Just keep pushing forward. The last 10 minutes has been, most of the games have been played in the Liverpool half, which is really encouraging. I think we just need to sometimes just put our foot on the ball and think about the next move. We're moving the ball quickly, but it's that final pass that often isn't finding a white shirt. So it's just about thinking before the ball is played. But yeah, I'm still confident we can get a goal back here. We certainly deserve a goal back. I think this second half, it's been Lewes have been significantly on top.
Iniumaton flying down the right hand side, great ball in. Ashworth Clifford almost getting a header, but doing enough to win the corner as Roberts puts it behind. Goal now would set up a very, very interesting finish. Cleverly as ever, coming right in front of the goalkeeper. Ashworth Clifford to deliver. Sava on the penalty spot. Umatong at the back post. Just over the head of Sava. Jones picks it up on the edge of the area. Shoots. Plenty of power as well, but it was always flying 4 or 5 yards wide. Maybe had a little bit more time with that shot, but the ball fell at a decent level to just hit it early and try and take Riley Foster by surprise. But it's wide of the target as Liverpool are preparing another change. A couple of players have been warming up for Liverpool, Amy Rogers and Thestrup, so we'll wait and see which one is introduced. Here's Leake, used her body to turn well. Bo Cairns is staying very tight. Tries to feed it to Jones on that far right hand side, but it's all the way back with Foster. Furness, who's won a lot of 50-50 balls in midfield. Lewes think the ball's gone out of play. Don't forget to stay tuned to our social channels as well for post-match reaction. Roberts. Moore. Linnett feeds Hodgson. Furness is in the area. Lots of red shirts coming into the area now. Nearly falls to Linnett. Sava pokes the ball half clear. Rogers again. O'Rourke able to force her back a little bit and at least give Lewes the opportunity to regain their shape. As Liverpool will make another change now. Furness is going off. She's had a good game for Liverpool.
Substitution for Liverpool, replacing number 27, Rachel Furness. Number 19, Amy Rogers.
It's Amy Rogers, as I alluded to a moment ago, who will come on for the final 6 minutes or so. And it's all about game management now for Liverpool women. Both ends to Rogers, who's switched over to this right-hand side now, up against O'Rourke. O'Rourke needs to deal with this because Rogers was right behind her. Now maybe a counter for Lewes. They need to find something in quickly. Lucy Ashworth-Clifford on the ball, taking it all the way up to the area and trying to win a corner off Jade Bailey. Didn't quite spin out in Lewis's favour, but it's still a throw-in on the edge of the area, which Sophia O'Rourke can take. Still time, but the clock naturally on Liverpool's side. O'Rourke on the edge of the area, Ashworth-Clifford. Gives away the cheap free kick, which is cleverly won by the substitute Amy Rogers, and it's taken quickly and diagonally as well, but Boswell gets a foot in. Lots to talk about in the first half. Was it a corner in the build-up to the own goal that gave Liverpool the lead, and then should Lewes have had a penalty 5 minutes or so before half-time? But an excellent second goal by Liverpool, quick free kick by Holland, Rogers down the left-hand side, neatly dinked in, and there was a deft header by Michaela Moore. Ashworth-Clifford, though, will get to this ball first with time and space on the edge of the area. Lucy Ashworth-Clifford, only really Leak as an option. Could have maybe tried to hit that first time because there weren't many white shirts in support. She was looking to try and control it and find Leak, but the two players were just a bit too close together and there was no wide option, and the chance goes a-begging. In Umatong, they will get to this ball first ahead of Michaela Moore. Could have actually used O'Rourke down the left-hand side, who was in bags of space. Instead, Lewes go through the centre. Leak looking for Sava, too strong, goal kick. Stuart, that was unfortunate because Lewes really starting to generate a bit of possession in threatening areas on the edge of the area, and O'Rourke was in a lot of space out on the far left there.
Yeah, we had space on the right with Sophia. There was space on the left as well, and I think that we're getting close. We're close. I think some of our forward play is good. It's intelligent. It's just that final ball more often than not. There was the opportunity there, I thought, for Lucy as well to have a shot first time, and I don't think it fell onto her left foot. So she tried to bring it back inside, and by that time the defender had closed her down. The team are playing with a lot of pride. They're playing with a lot of passion. It's just that final ball, and Liverpool are a great team, and as you said a few minutes ago, this is game management from them now. They're taking the sting out of all of the Lewes' attacks, and they're trying to wind the clock down. But we can never give up. So there's still a few minutes to go. Let's hope we can get something out of that.
Inumatong has been substituted during this drinks break, and Simran Jamat is the final change. Lewes now running out of time, just a few minutes remaining, plus added time. Very competitive game. Lewes certainly holding their own, and from set pieces and in wide areas, causing Liverpool some problems. but it just all comes down to fine margins, and Liverpool got a bit of luck with an own goal, and then Liverpool didn't get a bit of luck with a strong penalty shout, and then an excellent second goal by Michaela Moore, the Kiwi international, glancing header at the near post after Hodgson's ball in. It was about the quick thinking though too of Holland from the free kick 35 yards out.
Liverpool playing with 10. They've used their such.
Liverpool look like they are down to 10 women at the moment. Sure why Liverpool haven't made a substitution, because as far as I can see, Lawley and Bo Cairns have come on for Liverpool, and Rogers as well. You can make 5, but because you can only do it in 3 different substitutions, that's why, even though Liverpool have only actually had 3 subs on, they can't bring on another player. So it does mean that Lewes will be playing against 10 women for the final couple of minutes, but we're pretty much at the 90s, so if they're going to take advantage of this, then Lewes have to be relatively speedy. Match with Clifford up against Rogers, up against Moore, I should say, the goal scorer. And again, that's good defending by the centre back. Don't forget, still time for some shout-outs as we approach full-time at Jacobs Ben if you'd like to get in contact with me. And we are just about to head into added time. Happy Easter to all of you. Stephen Hamilton says, just donated, logged onto the laptop and found the link straight away. Not sure it was why it was so difficult on the iPhone. And it's an official Lego set as well that he sent me of that Easter bunny, so thank you. Charlie Dobre says that he has a whole bowl of mini eggs for Karen. Karen Dobre, one of the other owners and directors at Lewes FC. It's very appetising, Charlie. Good to see that the feed's coming through nice and clear. Great to see a number of Liverpool fans who have interacted with us and engaged and even donated too. Thank you for that. We've still got time as we head into the final couple of minutes now. Can Lewes find a goal and set up a grandstand finish against 10 women? Due to injury and 3 substitution cycles being made, even though in the FA Women's Championship you can actually bring on 5 different names, you have to only do it in 3 cycles. Liverpool have used their allocated slots, so as a consequence they'll play out with a woman less, but a 2-goal advantage as Lane finds Janak. She's dispossessed and Hodgson actually could have just put her foot through that, but instead tries to be a little bit more cute with a tight angle, and it might mean that Lewes can put a bit of pressure on from the front here, but Bo Cairns might be able to set Hines away. Too strong. Lewes throwing. Bit of urgency about the Rooks now. Danny Lane on the ball. Cousins. Liverpool happy to sit back and just let time tick away. Lewes hoping to at least get a consolation. Nicola Cousins, that's a bit too short though, looking for Jones, and Bo Cairns is there. Good win this for Liverpool. Not that much between the two sides, as you'd expect when it's 3rd against 5th. And a Reminder one more time that all the 2 o'clocks are getting underway soon, and the one to keep your eye on is Leicester against London City Lionesses. If Leicester win, they not only are crowned champions, but they secure their place in the FAWSL next season, as Emma Jones is offside. Stuart, lots of sides have come here this season and they've been outfoxed tactically, or they've been overpowered and they've conceded 3s, 4s and 5s. Lewes have lost by the looks of things by 2-0, but they very much held their own.
Yeah, I think that they can be proud of their performance today. Obviously, coming here, this is you're playing Liverpool, so the fact that Lewes are up against Liverpool in itself is a huge achievement. But I think that they've done well, they've performed well, we've defended well, I think, but it's just that a little bit going forward where we've not had that, the final ball has been there or thereabouts. But we'll take confidence from this. We've had a good 2021 so far, and we'll look to finish this as strong as possible.
Should be a good game when Leicester come to the dripping pan and may well already be champions. Even if they weren't to beat London City Lionesses, there's still a chance that they've already done enough, because in recent weeks they've pulled away from Durham, and Liverpool, of course, in 3rd place, as Lynette might just keep this in the corner. Cleverly is there. I think that would be a goal kick, and that might just about do it, because by my watch we're well into added time now. 4th official hasn't actually put up a board, but there can only be about a minute left. And Liverpool have the ball exactly where they want it. Roberts couldn't feed in Lynette. Jones. That's a clever little touch. And here goes Ashworth Clifford. Fahy is there. Read that really well. But again, the intelligence of Ashworth Clifford, he knew exactly what she was trying to do, but the experienced Liverpool captain was in the way. One final call for shout-outs to @JacobsBen via Twitter, and also to donate via the feed if you can. This is the first ever time we've brought you an away feed. Good to engage with Liverpool supporters as well, many of whom have donated, so thank you, for example, to Duncan Morris. Thank you to all of you who have tweeted me Easter eggs and fun photographs, as Amy Rogers tried to play that off Cousins, and Tatiana Saunders alert to the danger and smashes it into time now. And Lewes heading for a 2-0 defeat on the road in Birkenhead, Liverpool at Prenton Park, also the home of Tranmere Rovers. Ben Jacobs and Stuart Fuller with you. I'll get Stuart's final thoughts in just a moment. It's Bo Kearns, and then Lynette trying to waste some time, but an offside flag and Leak with a long diagonal ball to Ashworth Clifford, but just a bit too strong and with the wrong angle, and Hines can take her time now. The referee, Declan Brown, looks at his watch, tells Liverpool to hurry up a little bit. Bo Kearns on the ball. By my watch, that's it. Okay, we'll take the time upon time to at least try and foster a chance that might lead to a consolation goal. First, Lewes have to win the ball, and that's a neat header down to do so. Simran Jamat now on it. She can't find O'Rourke, and that's cleverly over the head of O'Rourke by Ashley Hodgson, who might well be a contender for Woman of the Match for Liverpool. I think Michaela Moore as well at the back, definitely with a shout, as Roberts has to actually go into the stand at Prenton Park, halfway into the stand to get this ball. And that will tick off a few more seconds as well. Rooks just trying to let this run for a goal kick, and she succeeds. Referee looks at his watch. We are still playing. And Rian cleverly can try and fashion a chance here. Boswell was trying to push forwards, but it's going to be Liverpool ball. And there is the full-time whistle. Liverpool with a controlled performance and a 2-0 victory over the Rooks. Lots of talking points in the first half. An own goal early on from Ellie Hack into the right-hand side of the goal as we look at it from the corner. But the corner was originally for Rook, the assistant, even though the assistant was closer to the action. And then Lewes really dominated, and they had their best spell probably in half an hour leading up to half-time in the first half. A number of corners caused Liverpool problems. Great, there was a ball in the area. Georgia Timms had an effort blocked. Nicola Cousins had an effort blocked. Rian cleverly nearly got her foot onto it in the 6-yard area. And in all of that confusion and panic, the ball potentially hit the arm of a Liverpool player. 6 or 7 Lewes players appealing. The referee only gave a corner though. And Rian cleverly went up and had a long conversation with the officiating crew at half-time. Then in the second half, Liverpool started brightly, and it was a very clever free kick, quickly taken down the left-hand flank by Holland. She found Hodgson. Hodgson, one of Liverpool's best attacking players, clipped it into the near post deftly, and Michaela Moore headed in what proved to be a killer second. Lewes reverted to a 4-3-3 to try and get a goal back or better. But Liverpool defended really well, and possibly the goal scorer, Michaela Moore, was their woman of the match if it doesn't get given to Hodgson, and that's why it's finished Liverpool 2, Lewes 0. So Liverpool consolidate their position in third, and Lewes for now stay in fifth place. Stuart Fuller alongside me. Your thoughts on a very good, very entertaining, very competitive spectacle, but in the end Liverpool just had enough quality and experience to win the game.
Yeah, I didn't think we were ever out of the game. As time went on, obviously we looked to press and press and get that goal. I think we were in that game for 85 minutes. I think the first 5 minutes we just didn't start very well. We conceded the goal. We came back in it. We'd have got that goal where we had the corner and the ball was being blocked. To go in at 1-1 would have made a huge difference to the whole of the second half. But credit to Liverpool, they're a top team, lots of experience. They managed the game really well. Lewes were always chasing the game, and when you're chasing the game, there is that potential there could be a mistake, or you go to sleep, which is what happened for the second goal. But there's nobody out there can say they didn't put their full shift in, and we didn't come away with any points. We didn't come away with a goal, but we certainly learned a lot today, and that's 90 minutes more experience for a very promising squad.
Of course, we'll see Liverpool again next season as well, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be back up here again. I mean, under normal protocol, you sometimes don't have to travel away to every game from a broadcast perspective, but by the same token, it's quite fun coming out on the roads and doing a broadcast like this.
Yeah, it's been good fun actually. Apologies for the shaky camera. For those who are not aware, we're doing this on an iPad that is taped to a tripod with an attachment for a steering wheel. But we've done it as much as we can, and I hope that everyone's enjoyed it, and we've given some cheer to a sunny Easter afternoon.
Great stuff, Stuart. Well, safe travels back and a happy Easter to you as well.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you very much.
Stuart Fuller, director and owner at Lewes FC, one of the long-standing members and supporters of the men and the women's squad. The men, incidentally, are looking for a new manager, so if you want to spread the word, we're welcoming applications from all backgrounds. Of course, you do need the appropriate qualifications, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have some good news on the men's front over the coming weeks and months. The different classifications for the men's team, so they're not in action as the women are. I'd like to thank Stuart Fuller again, and also Hannah, who's done a sterling job, not just on feed day, but preparing all of the logistics to get you this away feed, and also Charlie Nobre and the team back in Sussex who have supported this venture as we've come out on the road. Thanks to everyone connected with Liverpool as well for your help on the day, because this is our first ever away broadcast, so we're working with a lot of variables and different things, but we hope that you've enjoyed the game on this Easter Sunday, whether you're a Lewes or a Liverpool fan. That's just about it from myself, Ben Jacobs. Once again, happy Easter to you. Liverpool win by 2-0. The opening goal, an own goal. The second, a deft header from an excellent smooth by Michaela Moore. Liverpool stay third, Lewes in fifth place at the moment. But all the other games in the FA Women's Championship about to get underway. Blackburn, Coventry, Palace, Sheffield United, Charlton against Bees, and Leicester against Lionesses. Keep across that one because Lionesses could potentially climb above Lewes if they win, and if Leicester are victorious, they will find themselves crowned as champions in the FA Women's Championship, and they'll be up to the FA WSL. So once again, thanks for listening. Enjoy your Easter Sunday. Hopefully you've got some sunshine where you are. Stay healthy and stay safe. Full-time score from Prenton Park. It's finished Liverpool Women 2, Lewes 0.